Whoa. Okay, I think we're live. Yeah. Whoa. Right. Working out what? Yeah. Where I go. New. Whoa. Alrighty. Welcome. I'm back. I'm just doing a little bit of a quick DeFi video for today. The plan was to take any questions. However, unfortunately, I'm using a new system which I'm keen to use because it's far better in terms of the quality, but it doesn't live stream to X at the same time, so I need to kind of work that out. So any questions that anyone has on DeFi or any questions on the markets, we can talk about this for like 20 minutes. I'll be back again tomorrow. It's a bit of a busy weekend. The markets are a little bit brutal at the moment for sure. But let's have a look and see if there's anything, any DLMM opportunities available right now. Okay, so any questions? We'll take them all, okay? We've got one question thus far, so we'll go over that one because DLMMing is probably the most interesting thing for sure. So, hey Seb, happy Thursday. What's the biggest mistake you see new liquidity providers make when using DLMMs? So I guess not understanding anything about like a range or getting into a token that's too new that can just absolutely dip down immediately and just not even realizing that that is a risk. So like, for example, imagine you start with like a new token and you get in here and you just want to do in spot and you go out of range and you have a permanent loss and you're never going to get it back again. So I think it's far better that you have some idea of range, have some idea of, like with meme coins, working out the market cap, keeping in mind that, around this amount, like 200 million, there's a lot of resistance, right? 100 million, 200 million, hundreds, 50s, 60s. So if you kind of deal them at the peak, just be mindful that it's kind of tanked right down and now it's making a bit of a run up right now. So it could be a bit of fun. I know I say this all the time, but like if you can find people from the Goose DAO that are doing stuff, try and track what they're doing. They've got some good strategies. However, nothing's coming out of their Twitter much at present. Just the individual geeso. You might see Chief put something out, or Mario Meme Coin Assassin. So let's have a look and see if there's anything of interest right now to actually DLMM. We've got Alchemist, which is like in the last day has done really, really well, I guess on some positive news. But then again, it was doing well and then it just went off a cliff. So that's a bit of a difficult one. But on a lower time frame, wait, sorry, that's just recently. That's just this morning. Okay, so it was doing well. Someone took some massive profits and then the market just bid it straight up again, which is pretty cool to see. This here, if we knew what was going on with it, we could definitely go and provide some liquidity, but there is a decent amount of liquidity there already. Most likely. We can see down here, if I just kind of move this along slightly. We can see the total liquidity is 2.6 million. So a pretty decent amount. Another thing that we could do, of course, is I do like, to check out the RSI and the MACD to see if it is pumping up on these small green momentum sections. So like that's up 10%. We'll make this a little bit bigger. If something's in an uptrend and if there's bullish sentiment, it does tend to do that. That's up 13%, small one. So the MACD here is kind of having a bit of fun, and you may want to get into something like this token to ride it while still monitoring it. That could be one thing you do as it's in a bit of an uptrend. Although in general, like the markets are pretty scary right now. There's news of Epstein's list coming out. Maybe it's already come out. And Bitcoin's kind of fighting because it could go down further and further and further. And if it goes down further, well then like we just kind of keep on struggling. Solana, we're still kind of holding the line, but we have had a brutal time in general. And we're down more over the last 7 days, just not in the daily. So I guess in general, like if you're going to start with DLMMing, just start like small as well, would be kind of my idea, and try and get on more live streams to watch things as they go on. And ideally in an up market, there's more euphoria. People feel it's good. They think they're making money. Right now, when things are like this is a bit scary. That's my kind of main thing there. We can have a look into the Sonic world again if we like, but I probably don't have a whole lot actually to mention, sadly, just because I was hoping there'd be a little bit more fun happening in DeFi right now. But I've been working on a Monad video which will be out tomorrow, and that's kind of got most of my attention. Either way, in general, like we're going to see a whole lot more. We are going to see a lot more people actually getting into DeFi, so it's a good time to learn. One thing I will point out as a bit of a lesson is if you think a token has a whole lot of potential, you have to be very, very mindful of impermanent loss. So Kato, this rocketed up, absolutely rocketed up, and I started DLMMing it and boosted up, and then now I'm out of my range. So if I kind of go have a look at my pools, oh, there it is there. You can see I was earning really good yield, and now I have to wait for the price to actually come down in order to keep on earning yield. And I put some funds in there, and because it's not like a DLMM system, you can lose. You can lose a little bit heavier than like a DLMM system. And if I just held the Kato token, I would have outperformed. But you never know if you can outperform. And so your goal is always to outperform impermanent loss, and ideally with some sort of significance. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And a good lesson to keep in mind is when you put it in, think of it in terms of US dollar value, not if I held this. Because if you want to hold something, that's a different bag. That's a different thing. You go stake it, you put it on your ledger, whatever it is you want to do. If you want to farm these things, provide liquidity, you're thinking it, can I take this $300 and grow it up to be bigger and bigger? So now I could go and buy some more in and jump back in. It still has a whole lot of trading volume. And ideally in a DLMM setting, I would just wait for it to come back down by buying as it got lower. But we can't do that with Uniswap, sadly. I wonder if there's any other hot opportunities out there right now. I would like to get into Unichain, because I do think they're going to incentivize with Unitoken. They probably have already talked about it. But I don't want to get over there for some like random token. And it doesn't give the same flexibility that DLMM does. So I think for this, we're probably going to skip this. Let's see if there are any more questions. But we're not live streaming to Twitter, unfortunately, with this, me just learning how to use Streamlabs. The cool thing is this is now high definition. You can see everything. It's a better bit rate. But the bad thing is I haven't worked it out perfectly. Actually, we might go and have a look at Bearchain as well. We can have a quick touch on Sonic. Base, we've pulled out some liquidity. BNB, what am I in over there? I'm still in TST and WBNB. So nothing, not farming a lot over there. The yield has really gone down. You do have to watch these things. You kind of want to get in, you want to get out. So if we go have a look at TST, and quite often, because it's a random token, right? It's probably just dipped significantly, to be honest, over the past 7 days. I can't even remember how much I put in, but we'll be able to work it out. We connect our wallet here and my positions. It is currently earning 426% APR. But the last time I claimed any fees was 2 days ago, and I've earned $2.78. I don't have a whole lot there, so I'm happy to just kind of leave it. But if you're more aggressive, you can just pull it out and put it into a new farm. I like to leave a little bit in some farms sometimes in case it just gets more volume in the future if I don't need those funds and if I think it could have a bit of potential. So I've gone and collected it, and if I start to think, okay, I want to leave it here, but I want to just maximize my profits here, I could then just go and take the TST and just sell it. It won't be very much, $1.36, and the swap fee will probably be a little bit higher on this blockchain, 37 cents. So I probably wouldn't do that normally, but I'll do it just to demonstrate how it is. All right, cool. I've got some questions here regarding Sonic, so we'll move across to Sonic. So ZK Sam, Sonic's been pretty juicy these last weeks. Any liquidity strategies on Shadow? So once again, everything kind of applies to if the market's kind of moving up, then your altcoins will tend to be a little bit healthier. But you can still go there and just go Sonic USDC or Sonic ETH, something like that. And I believe they give rewards you get your rewards on Thursday. I don't know what time it is, but we can probably see the count. Okay, the epoch is flipped, so I think we actually maybe have got some rewards on this wallet. Probably not so many because we don't have a lot in this in here. We have $40 of liquidity, and I've got no X shadow. But what I do here if I claim these pending rewards? What are my rewards? I'm hoping there's like a small amount of... Okay, so $1.12. My S and USDC is out of range. I was trying to maximize this in a really low bin setup. This one is obviously a little bit safer. And do I now have in my wallet, which you probably can't see unless I import in the token, do I now have a little bit of X shadow? We can see that here. But okay, I'm going off topic. The question is, I do $1.12 worth of X shadow with a very small amount of liquidity. So the best strategy over here, I think, is just to be active so that you get a Sonic airdrop. You need to accumulate as many points as possible, and as you accumulate more and more points, you will be doing better and better, of course. And I would think like if you're playing on this blockchain like every day with like $2,000, it'll probably end up being worth your while. It's not going to be 100x or whatever, but maybe that 2,000 with the different rewards ends up getting you another like $800 or something like that by June potentially. I have just an idea in my mind, but it's more about like if you end up finding something you like, you might do a tweet on them, you might have the community, you might get an airdrop, whatever. That's where I'm more kind of keen. Shadow, I think it's like, because Solana is pretty damn good when it comes to DeFi, the yields aren't necessarily great unless like it's DLMMing. It's kind of hard to go and play on these things where you don't have that same flexibility as Meteor. It really is hard for me. So when I go and play on them, I kind of compare it back to what I'm playing with, which is really, really fun. And so when I do that, I don't necessarily love this a lot, but I do think the UI is pretty clean for what it's trying to do. It's probably better than some, like Orca as an example. And it does work it out quite nicely. I cannot remember what I put into this, annoyingly. So you probably a good idea for you to log your transactions. This was just a tutorial. And a really good app will just show you your positions, what you put in, what you took out, and ideally even your loss. So we moved out of this band. I'm left with all Sonic, which means the price of Sonic moved down. This one here is a far bigger range, and it's still earning a nice little APR here as well. The other thing that I wanted to show more of was Metropolis, but I haven't worked out how much liquidity actually gets routed through here, because Dupe.ag is an aggregator, and it goes wherever the best price is. And because of that, and because it's so easy, arbitrage bots can come in and they can make 2 cents per trade if it's profitable. And that's why there's so much trading volume. Whereas here, it'd still be possible, but it'd be far, far harder, and it wouldn't probably be worth it right now. And I think you have to actually go to Metropolis in order to actually make trades. You come here, and if you have a look at, maybe we've got some statistics on how much volume is. So volume in the last 1 day is 100 million and 120 TVL. And this is actually outperforming. More people are coming here, but I guess you have to go specifically here in order to trade. And most of the attention is on Shadow because they're giving some pretty decent rewards. Let's have a look at the dashboard. So this is earning, I've earned 84 cents in fees. My APR currently is 700%, but I am getting these other tokens as well, which is, this is their own token, and then this is like a gem, which is rewarded by like Sonics. So that's 40 cents, and then the fees earned 84 cents. So this is making $1.20 I guess every couple of days. I'm just in a curve strategy. I'm happily bridge more money across, but I just want to illustrate that it's kind of easy to do with a small amount. Of course, people want to turn $100 into 1,000, and I guess your only luck there is like if you're active enough to be rewarded with extra tokens or airdrops. But because it's a bit of a farming and ongoing farming system, the more you have, the more liquidity, the better it will be for you. These are the two big ones, to be perfectly honest. And how much money do I actually have on my D-Bank account? If I can go and deploy it. Probably not too much on Sonic itself. So I probably need to move some funds across. I've got $340. And I do have some more S tokens, which could be put into liquidity pools for sure. Now, the Metro token, I haven't done a deep dive into, but we can have a look at it here. DLM Tech is very cool. This obviously has a lot of sell pressure. The FTV, probably not the best tokenomics. The circulating supply is so low initially, but then again, it hasn't been going very long. And I'm unsure if the farming rewards, like how long it's going to take for all the tokens to go out. So I'm guessing at present, like it's climbed up recently. This is kind of holding a little bit, whereas Shadow, we'd have to work out which one is making, like, which one do you get rewarded the most? Shadow's down like 50% from its all-time high, so that's kind of struggling a little bit there. So if we could be rewarded pretty decently over here, this might be a better option. I wonder if we can just do 2 different strategies, just as a bit of a comparison between Shadow and Metropolis, just for like 24 hours or something like that. So what I'll do is I'll pull out everything, and then I'll put in whatever I can. 100% here, confirm, and manage the liquidity here. Withdraw it all, remove everything, and confirm. Cool. All right, so let's come over here, and we'll go to liquidity, and we'll go with the same, this one here, deposit. We may even see if we can leave it in for like 1 week. That's a bit of a fair assumption in terms of like, what is the yield? We can see what the Shadow token does, because remember, you can just sell your Metro right now. If you sell your X Shadow, you get 50% of it for Shadow, and then you sell your Shadow. So you're making more on paper if you're long-term aligned. So maybe it might be better for the project. It's not better for your initial just trying to farm and learn and make some money. Once you start to make like decent amount of money, like if you're like providing a lot of liquidity, sometimes, you know, if you have $100,000 worth of their token, you just kind of hold it for in case it has upside. It gets a little bit different. That's my viewpoint of speaking to big farmers, not my personal viewpoint, unfortunately. All right, so here we're going to go wide, 15%. No, we'll go narrow. We'll try this. And we need to go and get some more USDC. So I have to go and swap this at kind of a lower price, unfortunately. We'll go with like 200 into USDC. And we'll confirm. And we'll try and do this as precise as we can. What? Why do I only have 150? What did I just swap? Okay, fine. Okay, so we can go in with 75, which puts us in this range. Before we deposit, we'll go with the same thing on Metropolis, more or less, but we'll go with a curve profile because we can do a curve, but we will still go with 7.5%. We've got nothing in here. We want to have 75 and 103 and an advanced curve system. We want the price to go down minus 7.5% and plus 7.5. So bring that down to minus 7.5 and plus 7.5. If we go out of range before that, then I'll just compare the two. That's pretty close, right? 76 bins. And 103, cool. 103.65, we'll go precise if we have enough tokens. I think we have enough tokens. Wrong wallet. 103.65, we'll keep it fair. And we'll check and see how these two do. Now, does anyone have any questions? Because the best way to learn is to do, but the first thing is, of course, to ask silly questions. And I will give you a non-silly answer because it's just easier to learn. All right, we should have our liquidity going in here. We'll see if this has kind of gone through. Or maybe it didn't because I don't have quite enough. I want to make this fair. So I'll go and trade. I'll get like $1 more. 1.5. But if you don't know, Sonic has a whole lot of opportunities in terms of they're giving away 200 million S tokens. And it's not like it doesn't compete with Solana. It doesn't, but it gives a chance to have some fun and to learn some new things. And I think that is, you know, it's worthwhile. I know we're very tribal in the crypto space. 103.65, I think. But just have some fun. Just have some fun is kind of the main deal. Minus 7.5. And the other thing is, if I don't do something, but it's like a pretty trustworthy dApp, like still try it. Like Solflare was a big airdrop for many, like really, really decent. I didn't cover it because there wasn't like enough understanding on it. The honest truth is, if you have like core convictions, you may want to hold those tokens. Otherwise, it is not your job to hold a token if you don't like a token. Like, if you just want to mercenary farm, you're welcome to do it. It's up to the protocol and the community to give it an incentive in order to hold a token. There are some things that I really like Camino is the best lending borrowing experience out there. It's got multiply, JLP multiply is really cool. The Camino token I think will do well overall, but thus far they're not putting attention on it. So it'd be better to hold Dupe because you're thinking, well, Dupe's probably going to go up with the buy pressure. But if Dupe offered borrowing and lending, I'd still use Camino because Camino is trusted in that sense. So you can love a dApp, but you don't have to love a token. If they make it so that you're rewarded for holding it, not selling or whatever, then cool. But tokens are hard. That question there, Machine King, does Camino use that strategy on the back end automatically in terms of like JLP multiply? If you put in JLP in the multiply section, then you can use that strategy. But if you're just depositing JLP to borrow against it, then it's not being multiplied. If I need to show you that, I can do so. All right, we've got our liquidity here. These fees earned, like this is showing me the last 30 days. I wish I didn't have to worry about that, but when I go to actually claim some, that will be different. So we've got this all set up. Hopefully we're okay. I need to work out the best dApps, apps, Web2 apps, fine, to give me specific pings when a price moves in a direction. So if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. And that way we can work out, okay, if the price gets down to 64 or like 70 up to 74, then we can get a ping and then we know, okay, we have to go and tend to our liquidity farms. So we've got these two positions open here and my dashboard. Portfolio here, I've got my X shadow holdings. It's such a small amount, $1.14, that we probably aren't gonna do much with it. Like you can convert it to shadow, you know you lose half, right? It's saying that I have 1 cent. But then here it says my shadow tokens are this. It's a bit confusing. Enter, exit, convert. This is the biggest downfall with EVMs is you you can't see cleanly in the UI what you're actually doing. We can see we're getting this tiny amount. So that's really kind of confusing. Oh, maybe I have to go here. Convert. Okay, this is the other way around. My apologies. Cool. If we do this, we exit, we will see that we're getting, well, it doesn't show us in this transaction, which is annoying, but we're getting less, we're getting half the shadow. Once again, like this is the most annoying thing with the EVM world. Okay, so Machine King, you've a question. No, the DLM that you're doing on the screen right now, does Camino use that strategy on the back end? I don't understand your question. So none of this is Camino here. This is all on Sonic. Does that make sense? But let's have a look and see if there are any DLM opportunities because they have more fun, aren't they? Arena. So what, like some things that you want to look at is like, has it like pumped up in the last hour? And what's obviously volume 1 hour? So like this Arena token, it's got a low market cap. It's got a whole lot of volume. It's obviously like the dev keeps on buying this to try and keep it alive. There are snipers inside of it and they keep on trying to keep it alive, and it probably like it's breaking down. They keep on deploying more capital, but it does do really well on the MACDs. Like if it wasn't breaking down so much, it like the dev just keeps on buying. Wonder what this is. Why can't I click on my Twitter? It's advertised on Deck Screener. That's kind of fine. How are regulations regarding tax in Portugal, and which advice would you give to someone in Germany? I have the feeling that dealing with it becomes a nightmare when you think about tax declarations. Okay, well, I'm not a tax person, so I'm not going to give any advice. Portugal's on crypto taxes, it's like one of the best in the world, so that's okay. In Germany, well, I'll tell you what Geek Lad is doing. So Geek Lad is a member of the Goose-DAO, and he's in the US, and he just sets up one wallet and he funds it. So let's say he funds this one wallet with 50K. At the end of the tax year, if that wallet is now worth 500K, he pays taxes on $450,000 and he treats it as income. That's how he's decided to do it. I don't know how you're going to do it in Germany. There are some tax accountants out there, of course. You've got crypto tax made easy. This person is more like US based, I think, but you could use this guy. They're pretty cool. Pretty cool. Get a crypto tax review. But I'm really unsure what else. Cool. I think we might have a quick look at this arena, have a quick look at Bearer, and then I think the Epstein files are being released now. So my wife asked me if this is going to be bearish for crypto, and I don't think it is necessarily, because I don't know like how many people in like big people in crypto have time to go and do this, but maybe. Our world will never be the same again. Please. I don't know if they're out yet, but I believe they're coming out today, so it's going to be probably pretty crazy. We'll have to wait and see. All right, back to this. So this is kind of breaking down, so I don't want to deal in that. But if it kind of found its balance, oh, that's right. We're trying to check out if this token here, like if they're doing something cool, like if there's a reason to buy it or to deal in it, potentially. Arena of meme. Launch of meme. Okay, they haven't got a blue tick. Not following anyone. They're on a call. Not followed by anyone you're following. They keep on buying up their stuff. Sex tier 1 listings updates, roadmap marketing. I know it could be worth kind of playing into it. But there were a lot of snipers. There were a lot of snipers that are still in. And that's a little bit scary. What else? What's this one? What's this token here? Masonry. I mean, why this ran up so much? Like, what is it even about? It doesn't, like, the candle pattern looks really, really unusual. But it's got a decent amount of volume. I think until things look a little bit cleaner, I probably don't want to play too much in these DLMMs, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. What if there's any other tokens that are getting a little bit more hype on Solana, that are a little bit more longer term? I'll have a look at some stuff by Monday. I'll be here tomorrow and the next day to look at some stuff. But by Monday I'll have a few more. Like I'll start to kind of deal in more live. Just really not fun to do when it's such a nasty network. Okay. So when it's such a nasty downturn in the markets. All right, I want to have a look at hub.bearachain. Maybe I just go to my portfolio and see where it is. Bearachain here. Okay, this is a good question. Do you think Ray token is dying? Well, Ray token is doing pretty well, mostly because of Pump, right? And Pump is building their own, and Pump's kind of losing traction. The thing with let's have a look. The thing with Ray is it doesn't, like, they buy it back, but they don't burn it. They just kind of buy it back and buy it back and buy it back. And I have like a whole lot of Ray that I have from the previous cycle. He goes over this and I've always asked, like I could dive in, of course, I could dive into the docs or whatever, but I never get a reply just on Twitter. And I'm always like, I will always prefer if people are transparent enough just to take a few seconds to reply. Anyway, he says that, you know, the open source primitive, this is what's so valuable. The back end is what's really valuable, not the front end. This person's saying the front end. And Pump success is not just because of the front end, it's because of the success of their bonding curve. I would say that Meteor has the best LP Army opportunity, and that we can have a look at Radium, see if there's any rewards. and that you want to buy back it, but I think you want to reduce the supply. You want to keep on rewarding and incentivizing these pools. But yeah, you want a token to go up, and token was going up until this pump.fund news. So I still think like it'll be a successful protocol. But earlier it was like it was a strong buy, right? It was a strong buy Ray when it's low, sell when it's high. It's not going to be as bad as like Orca, but Orca has just been like why do they have a token? Like, to create a token last year because last cycles everyone created a token. They have these little run-ups. Well, I don't think they do anything. They just they allow you to liquidity pool over there, and they have a token which doesn't really serve a proper purpose. And tokens are very, very important. So long story short, yeah. Do I think it's dying? I think it's dying until they change the way they do things that makes it more about more about token price go up. As you're not allowed to say that, but you can say it as like I can say it. We want token price to go up because we do want token price to go up. They've got a clean UI. They haven't changed in years, and that's okay. Connect the wallet. Have a quick look in here. But like, there's not a lot of spark here. People will be far more inclined to go and use Meteor, given that it has MET points. Meteor will just take over, and so you need to work out like how you can become competitive, like really competitive, and you just have to offer more, I think. So let's have a look at liquidity. If there's any, because some of these pools will give you good rewards. This is weekly rewards of 1.3K, but there's a decent amount of liquidity there. Sell in USDC, and then you could go and do Sonic in USDC over here, which is why we've seen a lot of bridge liquidity go over here. And then each epoch, let's halve this because we know it's, if you want to instantly unstake it, it comes out. But each epoch, which is once a week, this is $500,000 worth of rewards. And so it is hard to compete when you already have a token and you kind of messed up a few things. So yeah, they're dying. Long story short. Do you think we'll still get a MET airdrop? Yeah, 100%. Like, Meteor has made a mistake. We've gone through this many times. It's still like, I go and play on all these other chains, and I think Uniswap should be so much better, and it's not. So Meteor will have to have an airdrop, and will have to have aligned incentives with the community like Jupiter has, and but they will work out like who's going to get tokens, right? You don't just go give tokens to anyone. So as an example, any wallet may be connected to like Melania or Hayden Davis or Kelsley Ventures. They're going to be found, and they're going to be excluded. Anything that was like purely extractive. But if people are just there LPing and like trying to raise some fees, yeah, they'll definitely get some tokens for sure, I think. I really hope so. I can't see, like, if they said no to a token, after Jupiter has this vision, Meow's like, there'll be, a trillion tokens, a million blockchains, and I don't know what else he said, but like the point is, like, everyone will have a token. And then if Meteor is like, oh, well, we don't have a token, we don't do an airdrop, it won't work. So yeah, all right, let's have a look at Bear Hub, and then let's end off the stream. I don't know how long it's been, 38 minutes, oh, sorry. All right, connect here. This is, Bearer was trying to attract liquidity, and they were doing a good job, and they are doing a good job. But then Sonic has started to attract liquidity as well. So it's kind of, it's just the nature of like, you have to fight for your liquidity. You have to fight for your right to get a user. Wrong network. Bearer. Should just be, okay, there we are. Add it, perfect. So here I've got some BGT tokens. There's not a whole lot of money in this pool. I've provided liquidity, and we can see this here. I've provided liquidity of, okay, $1,000. Okay, so a good amount. And it's just, churning along some fees. We're getting 13.28%, but we're getting the BGT APR. So I do like that. You can go and get these rewards, and you can go and vote. But what I think would probably be better is just to take them and then go to governance, and then we have to go and redeem these. But I forgot where to go right now. Minting, redeeming, honey, bearer hub. Validators? No. Vaults, pools, swap, redeem. Go and redeem that for bearer, redeem, confirm, and I'm just going to go and compound this. Like, I'll compound, build the position, and then I'll kind of start to take profits off and look at different ecosystems. Because it's all about this hype, and I don't know how much hype Berachain's getting right now with Sonic taking some mindshare. But we'll work that out a little bit more next week. So let's go and swap. How much honey do we have? We'll go and swap like 4 into some honey. Swap, confirm, perfect. Go to our pools again. And once it would be good to go and play with multiple apps on Berachain, and we can do that next week. Deposit. So we've already got some pooled liquidity, but we can go and deposit here. 35 and bearer. This is cool how I don't have to do keeping amounts proportional. I can just do what I want, which I like. Add liquidity and confirm. Just kind of growing that position. We'll end with any things that are looking okay over here. Nothing really. I'm hoping by Monday we start to see more attention that's coming our way. I'm going to end the stream in a moment. Christopher Torres, is Portuguese pronunciation. I don't know if that's your surname. Torres. I'm studying Berachain now. Still pondering on it. Sonic got me into their ecosystem. Look, a DeFi person goes wherever the best yield is. It's like where your money gets treated best. But if we learn to have a couple of funds on a couple of blockchains, but we're actively managing them, then we'll always kind of be in tune with things. We'll be a little bit more obsessed in the markets, which is kind of what we have to be. And everyone's fighting for people's attention. Berachain, I think it's more built solely for DeFi, which is kind of cool. But we'll have to wait and see. One thing that I'm kind of a little bit sad about is, I have a big thesis on Luca Nets, and I'd love to speak with him in the future. But unless Abstract brings on DeFi, it doesn't bring money, and if it doesn't bring money, it doesn't bring liquidity. And Pingu has not done well. And if I get a dude's airdrop, then I'm just going to, unfortunately, I'm just going to sell like 90% of it. By the way, a bit of a reminder here, actually. Not DeFi related, but go to Drip House. You never know. Sorry. Go to drip.house and go and mint this dude. Oh, you know what? I wonder if we've missed the first one. Solflare, connect, prove. So follow this one. Oh, doodles. And I think we may have missed one. I've put it open set. Okay, I haven't secured it. But there'll be a couple, there'll probably be a couple, and maybe even thank with a few, thank a small amount if you want. Because you may end up getting a dude's airdrop by actually doing this. This, I'm actually just going to go and buy. I should have secured it, to be honest. Buy it on Tensor. I don't know what that is, but it's not very expensive. And if there's more coming out, grab them. Just in case this ends up getting you some dude, right? It could. They are going to give a whole lot of DYOR to random people that they want to try and bring into their community. That's been spoken about a few times. And you can follow them for more. Not necessarily bullish on what I think their IP is really cool. But I have no idea, what's going to happen with it. We can see here, new blood, 13% is just new blood. And we like new blood. All right, we're going to answer these final questions. I'll be back tomorrow, of course. Machine King. I'm bullish on Supra, even though there's very little to do over there right now. Okay, well, we're probably not going to be attracting me over there unless there's like decent gains. And ZK Sam, thanks for tuning in. But yeah, look, if you have some fun things to do over there, Supra. What is Supra? Just quickly just answer, like, what is Supra? So in DeFi Llama, Supra, got SupraFi, which is that what you mean? Let me have a look at CoinGecko. Just 1 second. Supra. I mean, I've heard it before. Okay, this is own blockchain. Not very good tokenomics. The DeFi revolution. I don't understand. Like, if it's DeFi revolution, but they're not featured on here, and I don't know what that's all about. All good. We'll talk about it another day. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. Cheers.
Whoa.
Hmm? Yeah.